guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk about bartering and trade again. I'm going to do one last video on this with two more barter and trade ideas. But then also next time when we come in here for this series, we're going to talk about some things that I would absolutely never in a million years trade. There are some things it would really take a lot. So we'll talk about that coming up in another video. But right now I want two more things I want to talk about. Things that I think would be great barter and trade materials, things that I would consider maybe having on hand so that if things got rough, if you had to barter and trade with people in like a marketplace, whether it be rural or urban, doesn't matter where, and you wanted to be able to get some things maybe you needed or wanted, and you knew that these things might be valuable at a future time for that purpose, then these are the two things we're going to talk about today. Number one is cigarettes. Absolutely cigarettes. I mean, in the last number of years, I go back to that movie. It was by, who was the actor? The same guy who played Gladiator. I can't remember the name of the actor now. You'll put in the comments. Anyway, it was the same guy who basically, he was the whistleblower from a cigarette company. They changed the names in the cigarette company, but it was probably the Philip Morris, whatever company that produced the Marlboros and all that stuff. Anyway, he's a whistleblower. He's saying, hey, they're putting chemicals in these cigarettes that's going to make them more addictive. Okay, it's not just the nicotine, but there's other things too. And if you didn't know, food companies paid attention to that, and they do the exact same thing with your foods. That's why people are addicted to fast food, because they're doing the exact same sort of thing with your fast food and highly processed foods. They're making you addicted to highly processed foods, and so that you keep buying them. And anyway, so what they did, though, they made these things highly, highly addictive. Nicotine itself can be addictive. And I don't know what it is about America. It's just in the last number of years, so many people have stopped smoking. But in third world countries, if you've been in the military like myself and you've been in third world countries, like sometimes, depending on where you go, 90% of the population smokes. It's crazy. It's like a complete and total difference from where you live at today, where we live today in America. I don't know if it's still like that in some places today. I haven't been over in Europe in a long time, but back then it was. America, they were cracking down on places where you could smoke, and there it's like you could smoke everywhere, and like every building and like every train, like everywhere you traveled, people were smoking, except on like airlines. Excuse me. Anyway, so cigarettes. I'll tell you another story real quick. There was a medic in my company. I was in an infantry company. And there was a medic who was attached to us when we were deployed, and he kept cigarettes in his medic pack, a pack of cigarettes. He didn't smoke, but he kept a pack of cigarettes there because he said they were very good appetite suppressant. And so for him, it was medicine. And so that's something to consider as well. It does act as an appetite suppressant, and that may be why one of the reasons so many third world countries, people where they don't have readily access to all kinds of foods all the time, they smoke a lot because it's an appetite suppressant. Just something to consider. Now, at a time when the sheep manure hits the rotating oscillator, you may have a different world that may have to deal with hunger. And cigarettes are one of the ways people could be dealing with that hunger. Could be. I'm just saying it's a suggestion. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you agree or disagree. But cigarettes, do you remember that movie, The Postman? And just here's the deal. I really enjoyed Kevin Costner, some of his movies. People are really talking about Yellowstone. I've never gotten into Yellowstone yet, but I'm going to. I want to maybe start watching that program. So many people like it. But I remember back at The Postman, and I thought that movie was fun. I thought it was entertaining. It was a post-apocalyptic type movie. And, you can watch it on VidAngel, so you can take out some of the things that shouldn't be in there. Same with Waterworld. Got horrible reviews, but I thought they were mildly entertaining. But in the movie The Postman, if you remember, Kevin Costner, he's roaming around, kind of alone or whatever, and he stumbles upon a gas station, and he finds a hidden stash behind the cigarette machine that's apparently empty, but it wasn't. And he finds a whole bunch of cigarettes. And what does he say? He says, "I'm rich." I'm rich. And because that would be something that would be such in high demand for barter and trade purposes, I think that would be something to consider. People love their smokes. They just love their smokes. And even people who don't smoke, like back in the younger days, almost everyone in my infantry company did either smoked or dipped. It's just an easy way to deal with stress. So, and it's going to be stressful. During stressful times, people do things or like to do things that lower that stress level. And cigarettes is one of those ways to do that. So it might be, even if you don't smoke, it might be a good thing to do to have some of those set aside, a couple different brands, a couple different cartons. I know those things are expensive right now. That's probably one of the reasons most people don't smoke today. But if you set aside a couple cartons or a couple rolls of dip or a couple whatever, some pouches of tobacco, you might find that to be a highly sought after commodity when times get tough. And you can vacuum pack these things to keep them fresh so they don't go stale. I know that people say they can go stale. I'm not a tobacco connoisseur, so I don't know. Maybe they do. But you can put those in vacuum packaging and keep them in a place where they don't go stale. So it's something to consider. And I definitely think that at some point, if it got bad, people would want those products and they would trade a lot of things for them. So something to consider. The second thing we're going to talk about today is candles. Candles. So I've got tons of these things. Candles, I think there's a couple of different varieties. I've got lots of bags and these are a homemade beeswax candle right there. Here's another homemade beeswax candle. It's kind of bent. Anyway, these are just like some store-bought candles. Things like these could come if electric gets shut off. People always ask. That's like the first question when they find out you live off grid. What do you do about your lights? Thinking that's like the most important thing. It's not. Water is always the most important thing. What do you do for your water? That should be the first question. I've always marveled at that question. Is always, what do you do about lights? Like that's important. It really isn't that important. Water is the most important thing. What have people done throughout time when they didn't have before electricity? They had candles, and candles are really pretty cheap. You can get some really cheap candles out there today and buy them in bulk, and these will make a great barter item. I know you can make your own candles. You can get blocks of palm oil, and you can melt that down and make candles. And those candles from palm oil, like the natural palm oil, that stuff will last a long time. I think there's two different types of palm oil. Do your own research. There's palm oil that has some kind of petroleum product in it, but then there's also a palm oil that doesn't. So do your own research on that. Anyway, we have the blocks that don't have any additives or petroleum products in it. But tea lights are really cheap, and you can buy these in bulk. And these would be a great tradable item. Now, they don't last long. Tea lights will go very quickly. But for someone who just needed a little bit of light at night to maybe write something or to do something by candlelight where they need a little bit of light just for a little bit of time, these tea lights come in really handy, and you can use it real quick and then blow it out. But and they're really super cheap, and you can stock up on these things. You can get a whole box of these things for nothing. And I haven't priced them lately, but they used to be always nothing. Maybe with inflation now they are something, but you can get a lot of these, I think, still probably pretty cheap. If you know of a place or if you've seen prices online, link some, put some comments below and let people know. But I had tons of these things, and they can be great barter items. So candles, there's all kinds of varieties of candles. You can usually pick them up at the dollar store, really super cheap. You can order them online in bulk, in boxes. And so, just some of these candles that I think would be great barter and trade items, and even candlestick holders too. You might get some of those. People might need those for the candlesticks that they need. So all that stuff would be great for barter items, barter materials. Okay, so those are the two items. Let me know what you think by leaving a comment below. That's going to wrap up our list right now, I think, of our barter and trade items. Again, we'll talk about some items that I definitely would not want to trade coming up in the next video. And then maybe we'll do another final video of just some things that I saw in the comments below, things that you would suggest, maybe some things you would never trade also. Maybe you have your own idea. Maybe there's something that you find so important that you would never trade. And those might be different than mine. So we'll talk about those coming up in a future video coming up shortly. But I have about probably 2 more videos to do on this. Fun topic, and especially, relevant to the world that we're looking at today, as scary as it is. So, okay, leave a comment. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Make sure you hit the like button. That lets YouTube know that people watch our channel, despite how many times they want to put me in the corner and give me a timeout. And then also be sure to check out our Teespring merchandise below. We have our Farm Fresh Butt Nuggets popular shirt for sale. And then also our all-time favorite, all-time bestseller, the Stupid Should Hurt shirt as well. So that's out there too. All right, guys. See you next time at the Homestead. Bye. Hey, guys. I'm happy to introduce an American Homestead sponsor, Zervita Zeal. Now, first off, I only accept sponsors from products that I use and believe in. My family uses Zeal mainly because we want to ensure a healthy immune system. You see, it's made up of only whole food concentrates and includes no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. The included sweetener is all natural from fruit and the stevia leaf. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, and it's kosher. In 2018, my youngest son was involved in a bike accident that resulted in the surgical removal of his spleen, and that's an important part of his immune system. And because we live on a farm, you can guess that having a healthy immune system for our family is very important. Some of the included ingredients are beetroot, chicory root, turmeric, moringa, blueberries, cranberry, goji berry, milk thistle, ginseng, alfalfa, broccoli, and so much more. It's these natural ingredients that can easily be made into a powerful and tasty drink that my family can make and feel good about. So sign up and give it a try today. Every purchase you make goes to help the homestead so that we can continue to make great homesteading videos for you. Link is in the description below. Go ahead, give it a try. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. Oh wait.